What's up, y'all? Um, I was supposed to actually go to set today to go film, and come to find out, it got canceled for the day, or it got postponed, really. So I was like, I look kind of good right now, and I was like, I think I should come out here and record. Well, this wasn't even the first thought. The first thought was like, where I'm about to go, because I just wanted to be out. I didn't feel like being in their house. There's some things I could do at the crib, but I was like, I ain't gonna do that. I really just want to, be out for a second. It's a nice day, beautiful day. It's not hot at all. The wind is nice, and honestly feels like the fall. You know how fall feels? I love the fall. But yeah. So I thought I figured I'd just sit on here and talk for a little second, a little yap session. Um, What's been on my mind lately? Let's think. Because this video is not really structured. It's impromptu, and that's how I want it to be. Like Phenix minded is literally what's in my mind. So let's think. What's been on my mind lately? Let's talk about some shows. I love the fact that I have just such I would say a determination to finish shows. I try my best to like start a show and finish it. Like, if not in that day, in that week, because some shows you can binge, you know what I'm saying? Not everything is 22 plus episodes. Nowadays you have more limited series than anything. So I've been watching a couple different things. Something that I'm watching right now is this show called Sandman. And if you haven't seen it before, you really should watch it. It's on Netflix. This is not free promo, but it's a really good show. It is currently, well, I think actually season 2 is about to come out in July. So production is already over for season 2. But I rewatched season 1 just because I was in the mood for it. It's a really good show. It's really different. And so I was like, yeah, this is something that I got to watch again. And I was kind of in the mood, I don't know if y'all are aware. Probably not, because I don't think I've ever talked about this. I love like a lot of different types of film when it comes to like movies, but also shows. And the genres that really stand out to me are typically like the more sci-fi thriller type of shows and films. So like The Originals is like a really great show that I love. Trying to think of something else that's like in that same realm. Sandman, the one right now, it's a really good film. Not film, show. I want to say film so bad. What else is something else I've watched that's like sci-fi that I really love? Because I'm not going to shout it out if I don't love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I like it, cool, it's cool. But there's some things that I really love that I feel like I got to put on. We're going to come back to that because I can't think of anything right now for real. And that's sad. Like, I watch a lot of stuff. Oh, there's this show, I got one, on Prime Video. Unfortunately, it did get canceled. It didn't get renewed, but it's called The Peripheral. Now, that is a really good sci-fi type of show. Great watch if you feel like you want to watch something and you're not afraid to kind of be heartbroken at the fact that it's not going to have another season. Go check it out. It's on Prime Video. Love that show to death. So yeah, I'm gonna say love it to life. We don't gotta say to death, to life. But yeah, those are some things that are kind of on my mind right now. I guess let's go to the film space. So I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and I was basically saying like, yeah, I've been in the industry. Cause I was introducing myself. We were actually someone I met on set, formerly, I would say, and I was just saying like, yeah, I've been in the industry for about 3 years seriously now, but I've been doing it since 2018. So it's 2025. You can kind of do the math. I made my first short film when I was in everybody was in there. When I was in college, that was in 2019. That's what I was trying to say. So made my first short film, loved it as far as like at that time. And then like after I kind of took like maybe about a year or so, not off, but like fast forward a year. I was like, nah, this is not it. Like, I looked back at it and I was like, I did not like this. And it really was just because, like, I started to study film heavily after I made that film. And then a lot of things started happening, right? After 2019, we get 2020. So the pandemic came in and it was just a lot happening, a lot going on. And film for me looked very different. Even the aspiration of film, like, I didn't initially think that I was going to be even going into the film industry for real. But I love it. I really love it. I love being able to write. I love being able to direct. Like, it's really fun. It's a really fun industry to be in, and something that I feel like helped me a lot recently. It was a revelation that I really had. I think God was like pouring it down for real, like just helping to encourage me. Like, sometimes you just need that encouragement and the reminder. I think it's more so like an affirmation, if anything, that not only you can do this, but like it's okay that it took this long. And I think sometimes, like, as people in general, we get beside ourselves thinking that, we are supposed to be like everybody else, and everybody else is supposed to be like us. Like, we're trying to measure success, completion, whatever it is, with a consistent unit of measure that is supposed to be, universal. And that's just not the case. I think that we all have a way that we're supposed to get to where we're supposed to get to. And if it took me 5 years and it took the next person 2, then that's just how long it took for each individual person. But it's not to say that, you are any lesser than that other person, or they're any lesser than you. Like, it's just a matter of your process, your timing took that long, and that's what it is. And I'm inspired by some of the many greats that we see in the industry today, like the actors and actresses like Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, or even some of the people that are really coming up in the industry in much, much larger ways now, like Ryan Coogler, or even, what's her name? Even Issa Rae. Like, she's been in the industry for a long time too, but like, for her things, as they're coming along, like, you're just now seeing, or I guess in recent years, you've seen a little bit more with Insecure and even other films and projects that she's been on, like now more recently One of Them Days. But you can really see just the contrast of people in the industry. We have many young people that are actually doing amazing things, which is cool, and we also have a lot of people that are a little bit older that are also doing such amazing things and just now getting the recognition that they deserve. And I think it's evidenced by the fact that, like, people are getting their flowers. We can see it in the industry, that we're seeing the Delroy Lindos and Sinners. We're seeing just these actors and actresses getting the opportunity to take it up a notch, and I think that's really dope. And so I think I've been encouraged lately by the fact that, like, my entire journey has been so unique to me. I shouldn't be discouraged by that. I should be encouraged by the fact that it looks different, it looks unorthodox, and even the pathway for me to get deeper and further into the industry, to be able to make big bucks, hopefully one day, to sustain myself and even go higher and invest further. It's a different process. It's not going to be like everybody else's. So I think, I feel like I want to encourage anybody that is within the indie industry. It doesn't have to be film. It can be, something else. Like, trust and believe that your process is supposed to be your process for a reason. You got to learn some different skill sets. You got to meet some specific people. Like, sometimes I feel as though, like, when the delays happen, I'm like, dang, this sucks. I'm just stuck in this place. But no, I'm not stuck. I'm just waiting. And the wait is because God has aligned things a certain way. So maybe I have not met the person that I'm supposed to take along this journey with me yet. Or maybe I have not stewarded the thing that is needed to be stewarded to get to the next level. Case in point, for me personally, transparently, my finances has been a very, very touchy subject for me lately. And it's just because, you go through financial hardships and struggles and you're trying to get stable. And what I believe God was trying to show me was just the simple fact that I'm not going to take you to the next level if your stewardship in this area of your life is not up to par with that next level, discipline, honestly. Like, if I can't be disciplined in my finances at this level, what makes you think I'm going to do it at the next level? When God can pour down the blessings and really, present me with some opportunities that I've never even thought of or seen before. Like, I've experienced so many times in my life where God has blown my mind that I can't even fathom the things that he can take me into the future of, for my life. Like, you don't know. You don't think about it. I think for any of us that have gone through different things or experienced life and we have gone through the valleys and then we've climbed up the hills, and gotten to the mountain peaks. Like, can you think about those times where, you experience something that now for you, it's like, dang, I have experienced that. But before it even happened, you probably didn't even think that was possible. Going to this place, meeting this person, seeing this thing, or trying this particular experience. Like, you might have not thought about that until that came up in your life. But when I think about my life and the things that I'm currently aspiring to get to, it only makes me think a little bit more intentionally when I'm speaking with God and God speaking with me, and I'm realizing like, okay, if I'm feeling like either disoriented or antsy about the next level, is the problem me? Am I doing something wrong, or am I not paying attention to something that I'm supposed to be paying attention to? Because sometimes that's also the case. Like, if I'm not paying attention to the fact that I was cool with my finances for a minute, I had a system going on, then I fell off the system, and so now I'm seeing this. If I'm not getting that back in line, if I'm not getting that back in check, why would I want to even go to the next level with this type of inconsistency? And it's not to beat yourself up about, that the Lord gives us grace. And even in the Bible, it talks about how the Lord's grace is sufficient, right? So it's not that you're supposed to be beating yourself up. You just fix it. Fix it now, be aware of it now, and get back on track. It's I think a lot of people try to or a lot of people get in their heads and then they start overthinking it. I know I do, where I overthink it, or I'll get overstimulated by the fact that I feel like I got to do 10,000 different things at once and then fix the other things that I was needing to do anyway that weren't even on that list. But again, grace. Grace is available to you, and it's not just a thing that God is giving to us. It's also a thing that you have to give to yourself. Just an example of how God does things in life. I think he looks for us to actually mirror him in those ways. The word tells us that we were made in his image. It says in Genesis, let us make man in our own image. That's what it says, right? And so if that's the case, in terms of the way that God is and the way that we're supposed to be made in that image. So of course God is going to reflect or put things in the word that is going to enable us to think about the reflection of what God is looking for us to do in our lives, for us to create, the charge that we're given to not just make disciples of all nations, but one of the first charges, right, to be fruitful and multiply and to subdue the world, the earth. I was trying to say those two things together. I've been doing that a lot lately. It's crazy. But when you think about those things, it's like, this really does make sense. I'm actually supposed to adjust my mindset, adjust my workflow to match that of my higher power, my creator, So yeah, I think that I've gone on a tangent very, very long, but all that to say, I'm really encouraged in this season of my life by the fact that even though things can kind of feel chaotic in my life or look chaotic in my life, that doesn't mean that there's not good. Sometimes you have to sit down and take moments like this to reflect. And when you do that, you realize that there's just a lot more happening than you realize. And it's good things. It's really, really good things. It's about perspective. It really is about perspective.